So it finally arrived. This is a how-to video of how to install the Harbor Freight 10x17 portable garage. There are 3 different sizes of the bolts, and it's key to separate them and look on the instructions. The instructions are kind of vague, but they'll show you a little bit. For example, 1" 5/8 bolt, there's a 1" 7/8 bolts, and there's a 2" bolt. So what I've done is I've already put the nuts on them, the nuts all the same size, and put them in my pockets, and I know which pocket has different sizes. Alright, I got it all laid out and counted the parts, and I'll explain a little bit to you. You need a 7/16 wrench. You need a tape measure, definitely. Alright, so count out all your parts and measure them. It's a good thing to do inventory because, you know, chances are with a box like this that's been broken pretty good, you could lose a pole. Alright, the end piece is put together. I use the 63.5" legs. Those are for the corners. The bottom bolt is a 1" 5/8. This bolt with the bracket on it, you have to put a little bracket to catch the support beam, is a 2" bolt. And this one is a 1" 7/8 bolt. And here, 1" 7/8, 1" 7/8, 1" 7/8, and then 2" again, and then 1" 5/8. Alright, now that I got both ends done, you're going to start on the 2 middle segments. And remember, that's where your 74" legs come into play. These ones are actually shorter legs because they have this big L piece on the bottom. And the bottom leg on those are actually this little bracket right here, as you can see. And so it takes up less space, and so the legs have to be longer. And so I'm going to start on those now. The only difference now is you're really you're using a 4-way connection rather than a 3-way. See, 1, 2, 3. That's for the ends, and so for the middles you'll use the 4-way connector. Alright, all the segments are put together. Now it's time to put in the ridge rails. Those are the 3 right here, the 65". Again, check with measuring tape, make sure you're not mixing anything up. And they go in with the 1" 7/8 bolt. And so what we'll do is I'll have to get a ladder up here, and we'll put one in that hole, one in that hole, connect them, spread the legs out, and then keep going. So I've gotten the top rail done, which was really not that hard. Just take your time and use a ladder. I'm doing it by myself, and it wasn't that hard. Next is the side rail, and the first one closest to the door, I mean, it might get started at the back, I think the same length, is part 4, part 7, part 7" 1 7/8 bolt. You can use those again, and yeah. So I'll put that one on this side, and then we'll go from there. After I get this up, we'll go ahead and measure. And the legs have movement in them. You need to kick them out to 10 feet. Make sure they're 10 feet each. Alright guys, at this point the instructions start to get very vague, and this is where my video will help you. What you need to do is you have to undo this post and loop this strap on the other side of it. Do that up here as well, just like that, and on the side. What's going to happen next is feed that strap through the ratchet strap, and you're going to tighten it all up, put one on each corner, I believe, and it's going to tighten this up. Now at the same time, if you notice it starts sucking at this end, you're going to need to stake each leg to keep that from happening. So we'll do that next. And yeah, at this point the instructions just rely on photos. It gets really vague all of a sudden. You know, when putting together a frame, the instructions are pretty good, but once you get to putting the tarp on and tensioning, it gets very vague all of a sudden. So I hope this helps. So that's basically how it's going to look. You got your straps in the corner, so we got to do that on the front, and then we'll be ready for the main tarp after that. And then there is again another support. That'll be those poles, and they have to be clamped in a certain way. So next we'll put the other end on, and then you got to put the ends on before you put the roof on. So I got the front wall up, and we've been having gusts of 20-mile-per-hour winds, so that kind of got crazy. The string pulled out of it, which was very hard to snake back through. And yeah, you do need to stake it when it's this windy. I'm going to stake this side, but not this side until after I've got the tarp stretched across, and I have these supports across, and that'll kind of make it square. Then I'm going to stake the other side. These stakes are really good. You space them out 10 feet on the ends, and they just kind of dig. They do a really good job of it. I just loop a screwdriver through there and tighten it down, and they really get in there. Okay, forever by myself. So I'm about to attempt the most difficult thing, which is throwing the tarp over, and you put the poles all the way in already, and that helps weight it. When you get to the other side, you got a bracket like this. It's a two-parter, and it clamps the post, the rods with the post on the other side, these posts, similar to that. So that'll make it pretty strong, and that goes about, it looks to be about a foot or two off the bottom, maybe lower actually, because you're looking at the side walls, you only got maybe 6 inches from the bottom where it could go. Let's show you how it's going mid-progress. It seems like the best way to do is go ahead and have the pipes in and just lay them over. And so I'm going to pull the middle one next, and then I'm going to lay it over and do the sides. And that's how you do it alone. Zipper door worked. I just have the ratchet straps tightened down a little bit. Yep. See the bottom support rods down here. Let's start on that. I'll probably even up the tarp and figure out where exactly it wants to be. Alright, I got these all tightened down. Those went pretty easy. Just with whatever bolts you have left. It doesn't matter if it's 2-inch or a 5/16, 1 5/16 or 1 7/8, 1 5/8. Anyway, they just leave you some extra, and that's the best way to tighten it. See how tight these walls are? Is you kind of put your foot on it and push down, and it really tightens it up. There you go, outside view. 10 by 17, pretty large. You got these ratchet straps, and that's how you tighten everything down. Nice and big opening. And now for what I bought the tent for. The Volkswagen. $200 Volkswagen and a $166 tent. Yeah. So a little project, and I decided I needed somewhere better to work on it other than outside. So, yep.